It is 2:10 p.m. Welcome to the Tennessee State School Bond Authority meeting for November 28th, 2022. I will call the meeting to order and note the presence of a physical quorum. First item on our agenda today is approval of minutes from the October 19th, 2022 meeting. Members, I hope you've had time to review those minutes that were in your packet. Unless there's any questions, would entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Have a motion properly seconded. Any questions? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Second on the agenda today is consideration and approval of the resolution to approve the borrowing of money by another method for the University of Tennessee in relation to the Innovation South lease amendment. Austin Oakes, I think, is here to present. You're recognized.
Good afternoon. Our first request is on page 3, and this is for the approval of borrowing by another method in the form of a lease amendment between UT Knoxville and Innovation South Partners, LLC, for the property located at the UT Research Park in Knoxville. The amendment will allow UT to revise the guaranteed maximum price to $23.15 million and increase the square footage of the project to 39,422. Terms of the current lease include a provision that if construction costs exceed the GMP by more than 5%, UTK would need to seek an approval for an amendment of the lease, which is why we're here today. Approximately $2 million of this cost increase is due to the increase in program space, with the balance focused on cost escalation in the market. We ask for your approval of the item.
Thank you, members. You have heard the request. Austin, what's the source of funds?
Campus plant funds.
Thank you. Members, any questions or comments? We have a motion for approval. Properly seconded. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of this item, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next on the agenda is consideration and approval of the resolution to approve the borrowing of money by another method, again for the University of Tennessee, this time in regard to the Quarry Trail project. Austin, you're recognized.
Thank you. Our second request on page 23 of your package is for a lease with UT Knoxville with Bayou Park TIC LLC and Doral Laredo TIC LLC at the Quarry Trail Apartments complex in Knoxville. This lease will provide 24 4-bedroom units as well as 24 3-bedroom units for a total of 168 beds for student housing. The lease term is for 1 year beginning August 12th of 2023, continuing through July 31st, 2024. The estimated total cost is $1,653,696. We request your approval.
Members, you've heard a description of the item. Any questions? We have a motion and properly seconded for the item. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the item, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next, we have consideration and approval of the resolution to approve the borrowing of money by another method, again for the University of Tennessee, this time in regard to the Cherokee Mills project. Austin, you're recognized.
Thank you. Our third request is on page 41 of your package. And this is for a lease for UTK to enter into an agreement with Magnolia Cherokee Mills LP at 2200 Sutherland Avenue in Knoxville. This lease would provide 36,618 square feet of suite space for departments being relocated in connection with the construction of the new College of Business building. The lease term is for 5 years with a 5-year option to extend. The lease start date for each suite varies based on the date suites become available. The estimated total annual cost would be $770,629.25. We ask for your approval.
Thank you. Once again, members, you've heard a description of the item. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we have a motion properly seconded in regard to the item. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of the item say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Next, we have consideration and approval of the resolution to approve the borrowing of money by another method, once again for the University of Tennessee, this time in regard to the UHS project. Austin, you're recognized.
Thank you. Our final request is on page 59 of your package, and this is for a lease with UT Knoxville and the University Health System in Knoxville. This lease would provide 15,138 square feet of space for ambulatory care and research. The lease term is for 10 years with an estimated total annual cost of $399,340. We ask for your approval.
Members, you've heard a description of the item. Any questions, or do we have a motion? Have a motion properly seconded. Any discussion or questions? If not, all those in favor of this item, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Thank you very much. Next, we have consideration and approval of the resolution to approve the borrowing of money by another method for Tennessee State University, this time in regard to the Jefferson Flats project. Douglas Allen, you are recognized, and if you will, introduce who's with you.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Thank you. Again, Douglas Allen, and I have Allison Letcher with me, Assistant Associate General Counsel for Tennessee State University. Thank you. We're requesting approval of a lease, a 5-year lease between Tennessee State University and Jefferson Flats Apartments. This lease is for an annual rent of $440,000. It will house 68 students and 34 beds. And so this property actually was been on the docket now since 2021, and originally, so we're now looking at approval for this property.
Thank you. Thank you. And members, you've heard the description. For the purposes of discussion, do we have a motion or second? Have a motion properly seconded. Quick question for you. This project, in maybe in difference to the projects we considered earlier this summer, this is for graduate students. Is that correct? Not undergraduates.
So it's initially for graduate students. That's correct. So since it's already been in place, we wanted to at least go ahead and get it. So we would house just a few of our undergraduate students in the spring. This would not go beyond the request that we brought the SBC for approval back in August for the phase in the graduate students in the fall.
And in preparing for the meeting, it's my understanding that perhaps revenue generated by people staying in these apartments will pay the cost of the lease with no plant funds necessary.
Okay.
Thank you. Members, any other questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of the item, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Thank you. Next on the agenda is consideration and approval of the resolution and providing with respect to the second amended and restarted revolving credit agreement. Sandy Thompson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in your packets, you do have a copy of the amended and restated revolving credit agreement that we plan to execute on November 1st. As you recall, the LIBOR benchmark is being phased out by June 30th of 2023. School Bond Authority's current revolving credit providing banks, U.S. Bank and Wells Fargo, offered to replace the LIBOR benchmark with SOFR as an amendment to the TSSBA credit agreement. Banks also explored other indices and an extension of the term of the agreement. However, due to the short-term market, either of those options would be very costly at this time. Second amended and restated revolving credit agreement has been reviewed by TSSBA's bond counsel, the AG's office, and the TSSBA staff, and it's in final form for approval by the board.
Thank you very much for the description. Members, I know you've often wondered, what will we ever do without LIBOR? Here you go. Do we have a motion or second for the purposes of discussion? I have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of this resolution, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Thank you. The item is approved. Next on our agenda, we have consideration for approval of an amendment to the financial advisor contract with PFM Financial Advisors. Again, Sandy Thompson, you're recognized.
Chair. As I mentioned in the TLTA meeting, the current financial advisor services contract with Public Financial Management Advisors LLC, Board's financial advisor, will expire on December 31st of this year. Included in the materials is the final draft of Amendment 1 to the current contract, which would extend the contract for one additional year from January 1 of 2023 to December 31st of 2023. The initial 3-year contract allows for 2 one-year extensions. Services that PFM has provided have been essential and important to the success of the issuing authority. And in addition, PFM continues to provide excellent service to the board and its staff. Therefore, staff's recommendation to the board is to approve the amendment to extend the term of the contract for 1 year.
Members, you've heard the description. Do we have a motion or second? Have a motion properly seconded. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of approval of the extension, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The item is approved. Our final item on the agenda today is a report on the TSSBA bond sale results. Again, Sandy Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In your packets, there is a summary of the bond sale. It's just a one-pager that staff prepared for us. As you can see there, it does provide for the par amount of the bonds that were issued, both tax exempt and taxable, Series 2022 A and B, for $282,330,000 and $25,235,000. Final maturities on the Series A was November 1st, 2052. On the Series B, November 1st, 2032. You can see there the range of yields on the Series A was a 3.16 to a 4.59 for a true interest cost of 4.508. The range of yields on the taxable series was 4.63 to 5.1% for a true interest cost of 4.883%.
Thank you very much for that report. Sandy, how does that final interest rate received there relate to the most previous TSSBA sale? Do you know off the top of your head? Do you remember that?
So that was a full refunding. And it was a taxable refunding. We did that early in 2021, and the TIC on that was a 2.03.
Thank you. All right, members, nothing else official on the agenda other than the call to adjourn. We have a motion properly seconded for adjournment. All those in favor of adjournment say aye. Aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.